Barbra Streisand and Louis Armstrong are together with their Grammys from 1965. Factory workers are fitting a gun mounting on a Matilda tank. The year is 1941. They're in a Ministry of Supply factory. Actress Wanda Hendricks is visiting Mildred Alexander's Motel for Cats in San Francisco, 1947. A newly constructed wall is dividing the central part of Warsaw, Poland on December 20th, 1940. It's made of red brick and grey stone, built 12 to 15 feet high by the Nazis as a ghetto. A pen for Warsaw's approximately 500,000 Jews. Children celebrating VJ Day in Los Angeles on August 15th, 1945. An extremely thin child eats a crust of bread at a Society for the Protection of the Health of the Jewish Population summer camp in Otwock near Warsaw, around 1935 to 1937. Dropping a quarter in an air machine, 1984. Kathy Ireland was photographed by John G. Zimmerman for Sports Illustrated Swimsuit in 1987. Pam Grier posing in 1973. So this is a mobile snack bar. It's got a red and white striped awning. The snack bar has an open window. There's a person visible inside. Father Camille Follier, a symbol of the French resistance, is with members of the New French Youth during the Battle of Paris, 1944. Carrier pigeons are being trained for service with the armies. A pigeon section of the Signal Corps has been established under the command of Major Griffith, 1917 to 1918. The Arc de Triomphe in Paris during the 1950s. Dawn Wells, early 1960s. Belgian explorer Camille Coquillard shakes hands with local chief Matabwiki at Bangala Station along the Congo River in 1888. Coquillard was charged with setting up a trading post, later named Bangala Station, for the Congo Free State. The Plaza Cinema is in Kansas. It's established as the world's oldest movie theatre. Brooke Shields and Debbie Harry were photographed together at Studio 54 in 1978. There's a carousel in front of the circus on the Champs-Élysées. This is in Paris during the 1890s. This is what Netflix's homepage looked like in 1999, 1 year after it launched. Experiments on models of vessels were conducted to illustrate various methods of camouflage on different types of ships. The camouflage department of the US Navy was located in Washington, D.C. during 1917 to 1918. Demi Moore, 1981. Martin Luther King Jr. receives an award from George Maeslan, on the left, who was the president of the United Synagogue of America, and Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, on the right, for translating the prophetic vision of Abraham Lincoln into a living reality in 1963. Using gas cans for an altar, Chaplain James S. Hannaford from Slater, Missouri, conducts open-air Protestant services near Konzen, Germany. It's October 17, 1944. This is the 24th Cavalry Reconnaissance Squadron, the only acceptable sign for a nihilist during a riot. In 1980, Terry Fox set out on the Marathon of Hope, aiming to run across Canada to raise both awareness and funds for cancer research. A volunteer of the Free French Women's Corps, around 600 women volunteered between 1940 and 1943. A burlesque dancer is entertaining servicemen and other patrons while balancing a glass on her head. This is at Leon Eddy's nightclub, located on 52nd Street, New York City, in 1945. Marvin Gaye and Pam Grier at a celebrity game, Los Angeles, 1973. Cindy Crawford and Sandra Bullock at the Met Gala, 1999. Secret Service agents are responding to the Augusta National Golf Course incident. An armed man took hostages and demanded to speak to President Reagan on October 23, 1983. Sylvester Stallone is photographed at the New York premiere of Rocky in 1976. (1944). The Orwitz family, a group of 7 little people, were kept prisoners in the Auschwitz concentration camp. They survived because they became the pet project of Josef Mengele, who kept them separated to study them better. George Armstrong Custer's Crow Scout, White Man Runs Him, is in his traditional clothes. This was sometime in the 1920s. It's an autochrome Lumiere. Hiram Revels, the first African-American to serve in the United States Senate. Dr. William T. Corlett from Cleveland's Western Reserve University took this picture of a smallpox patient after they had recovered. The scars, they were permanent. This was during the 1900s. A skinny child is eating on the pavement in the Warsaw Ghetto during World War II. Tina Turner performing in Miami Beach in 1975. There's a Polish father and his daughter who were wounded during a German bombing raid in Warsaw in September of 1939. The Azerbaijan Soviet Socialist Republic. There's a lion, king, at the dinner table with the whole Berberov family in 1971. We're at a German veterinary hospital out in the field. There's a horse wounded by shrapnel and they're getting ready to operate. This happened between 1917 and 1918. Young 24-year-old Benny Hill in 1948. Alan Menken, the composer, is holding up his Oscar. He won it for the Best Original Score for Disney's Aladdin at the 1992 Academy Awards. July 31st, 1922, Laurel, Maryland. 2 B&O freights wrecked in a head-on crash at the Laurel Switch. Alright, a demonstration of the first home dishwasher from 1921. Artist Gustave Courtois, born in 1852 and passed in 1923, painted bodybuilder Maurice Deriaz. As I understand it, Maurice was sometimes his lover and also his model. Students are participating in a cheerleading practice in 1958. Portraits of Saddam Hussein decorate a car as Iraqis celebrate the end of the Iran-Iraq War. This was in Baghdad on the 20th of August 1988. A French border guard is helping refugees from the Spanish Civil War carry their belongings through a checkpoint. This happened in 1938. Ray Charles, 1986. Freddie Mercury performing in New Haven, 1977. Alicia Silverstone and Liv Tyler, 1994. Debbie Harry's hanging out with Joan Jett in the late 1970s. Debbie Harry, 1960s. Claude Debussy in 1902. Rose McGowan at the 1998 MTV Video Music Awards. Six-year-old Robin Arrington, the daughter of a Miami Southern Christian Leadership Conference attorney, is leaning on Dr. Martin Luther King's shoulder. Dr. King is holding a press conference on April 11, 1966 in Miami. An advertisement for a traveling medicine salesman in Oklahoma, 1895. Two men are hiding from the police in Johannesburg, 1955. If caught in the city without a pass, black citizens were subject to arrest. German orphans are lined up for food in post-war Berlin in 1945. There's a group of refugee children who were received by a French organisation. They were aided by the American Red Cross at St. Sulpice, in Paris. This happened in August of 1918. A window cleaner is cleaning the outside of the United Nations headquarters in New York City in 1953. Female cyclist, 1946. Czechoslovak President Tomas Masaryk is giving a speech for the 10th anniversary celebration of Czechoslovakia. The event took place in October of 1928. One Rong dressed in a full regal empress dress in 1922. She was the only empress in the history of China who had a photo of herself in such a dress. David Reimer's The Boy Unwillingly Raised as a Girl. The Arrival of Television in a Soviet Village, 1980. There's a castle-shaped ice mountain and a dog team, and that was on September 17, 1911. There's a man from Mezin, which is now in Arkhangelsk Oblast, Russia, from 1927. Jenny Agutter, 1982. There's a park bench in Damascus, and you see a real mix of styles there. Someone's wearing a fez, and another person's got on a burqa. You've also got a headscarf and then a business suit. All of these are right there together back in 1965. A floating British Mark IX tank in Hendon Reservoir on November 11, 1918. Einstein is talking to Robert Oppenheimer about his newest attempts to explain matter. He's trying to do it all in terms of space. A woman is serving hot drinks to customers from a makeshift cafe in a street market. This is in the Warsaw Ghetto during World War II. A procession of nuns, Frankfurt, Germany, 1964. There's a mechanical bull from 1928. Hotel Pomori in Pomori, Bulgaria. It was built in 1976. Dorothy Dandridge is at the London airport. The date is June 25th, 1964. She was the first African American to be nominated for an Oscar for Best Actress. Marilyn Monroe's smiling, posing with the Marilyn Five. They were a group of dedicated fans who followed her everywhere and knew exactly where she'd be at all times. This was in the 1950s. This is apparatus for measuring extension and flexion of the wrist. It's part of physical rehabilitation, and it dates from around 1914 to 1918. In 1925, 11-year-old Lucille Chatterton was rescued from her alleged abductor, Earl Woodward, who was an ex-convict. This happened after a 6.5-day search involving hundreds of Vermont residents. A couple watches in despair as fire burns their family home on Black Tuesday, Tasmania, February 7th, 1967. T. Leone, 1995. Win Ben Stein's Money was on for 6 seasons starting in 1997. The waterfall ring toss, which came out in the 1970s from Tomy, was a small handheld toy made for fun. It had a sealed water chamber and plastic rings. Dodie Smith, the author of The 101 Dalmatians, with her first Dalmatian, Pongo, in 1934. Alright, so it's a spring-loaded beauty mask from 1933. An old Chinese woman is being helped aboard a United Nations Relief and Rehabilitation Administration ship. It's carrying Chinese people who were returning home. Many of them had been used as forced labour by the Japanese in the Philippines. This was in Manila, Philippines in 1946. Tom Cruise in his high school yearbook, 1977. A portrait of a Muslim ascetic or fakir from East Bengal during the 1860s. A concentration camp inmate reduced by starvation to a living skeleton is delousing his clothes, sometime between April 17th and 18th, 1945. Tea Party, 1906. A Victorian-era man is dressed in traditional Japanese attire. He's holding a fan and a sword, representing a handsome Victorian man's style. Here's what a 20-year-old Dolly Parton looked like. Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston are embracing lovingly at an Oscars party in 1999. A crew of observers on the Empire State Building during an air defense test on January 21, 1941 in New York City, conducted by the US Army. Their job was to spot invading enemy bombers and send information to centers which would order interceptor planes. Betty Brosmer, the girl with the impossible waist of the 1950s. Gwyneth Paltrow and Brad Pitt, 1997. American soldiers are doing laundry with French washerwomen. This is the 305th Sanitation Frontville Meuse, France, in 1918. The movie theatre has a 90s aesthetic. Kodak's British office on Clerkenwell Road, London in 1902. Charlie Johns, who was 22, with Eunice Winstead, who was 9, his bride. He got the marriage by Baptist preacher Walter Lamb, who was paid $1 for his services, on the 19th of January 1937. The marriage triggered a change of the laws in Tennessee. Brad Pitt at age 24, photo taken in 1988. Helen Chan makes pins with the message, "I am Chinese." Sun Lum is getting his in the United States in 1941. This was to stop harassment for being confused with Japanese. Audrey Hepburn is handing Julie Andrews her Best Actress Oscar for the film Mary Poppins. Anthony Daniels is smoking a cigarette on the set of Star Wars in 1977. Rocker and John are dressed in fertilizer bags. This happened in England in 1983. Imagine Las Vegas, 1895. It's a Kodachrome shot of post-war Bavaria, Germany, taken on the 27th of June 1953. (1991) December 8th. The signing happened in Minsk. It was the Treaty on the Commonwealth of Independent States. The leaders of Russia, Ukraine and Belarus were there, and that's when the USSR dissolved. Young cowgirls are posing for a photo in 1928 San Antonio, Texas. Water ski polo, 1920s. Alright, so there's a Best Dressed Teddy Boy competition happening in Nottingham in 1956. Central African dictator Jean Bedel Bokassa is with his wife Catherine during his coronation as Emperor of Central Africa in 1977. The ceremony was so extravagant that it cost a third of the country's entire annual budget to carry it out. During the 1999 Kargil War, Indian forces painted bombs with the message "From Raveena Tandon to Nawaz Sharif" as a cheeky taunt. This was referencing the Pakistani Prime Minister's admiration for the Bollywood actress. A human hamster wheel in 1936. There's a Buddha statue in Afghanistan before its destruction in 1992. Young Ava Gardner in 1942, right when she was starting her Hollywood career. There was a demonstration in front of the consulate of Suriname to protest against the December murders under the Desi Bouterse regime. This happened on December 8, 1987, in Amsterdam, Netherlands. The Miss Flashbulb winner gets crowned. The contest took place in 1948. There were some young women, all dressed up. A woman with a tiara is smiling. She's wearing a dress. A man is putting a crown on her head. There is a second woman. She's smiling too. The first time the V sign was used offensively was in 1901. A worker at Parkgate Ironworks in Rotherham showed his displeasure at being filmed. The Theatre of Marcellus in Rome, Italy, was founded in 13 before Christ. Nowadays, the upper floors are apartments, and the surroundings are used for small concerts. Hedy Lamarr was an Austrian-American film actress and inventor who rose to fame in the 1930s and 1940s.